right, now we're going to introduce a specific formula. There's not a lot of these, but there is a special formula when it comes to invertible 2x2 matrices, okay? So again, this assumes that the 2x2 matrix is invertible, okay? If it is, then we know that AD times, or excuse me, AD, the A times D minus BC is not equal to 0, okay? And so that allows us to use this formula. So let A equal this 2x2 matrix, A, B, C, D, and let this be an invertible matrix. Then the inverse is given by this formula, 1 over AD, so we cross multiply, so A times D minus C times B, or BC. So 1 over this times this matrix here, which all we did was we switched the diagonal elements and took the negative of the other diagonal elements, okay? And so this is the formula for finding the inverse for any invertible 2x2 matrix. Okay, so let's derive the formula. Okay, so let's derive the formula. Okay, and so to derive the formula, all we're going to do is set up our matrix, right? So we have A, B, C, D, and 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, now we're just going to row reduce. So we want to divide this whole thing by A to make this 1, right? So we're going to go 1 over A times row 1. Replace row 1. Okay, so that's going to give us 1 B over A, 1 over A, 0, and then this is going to be C, D, 0, 1. All right, now what we're going to do is eliminate C. So we're going to take negative C, row 1, so negative C times row 1 plus row 2, and replace row 2. Okay, so now what is that going to give us? That's going to give us again 1 B over A, 1 over A, and 0. And then this is going to become 0, right? Negative C plus C is 0. Then we're going to do negative C plus D. So negative C times this. So this is going to be negative C B over A plus D, right? We took negative C times this plus this, so that's what we get here. Now we're going to take negative C times this plus 0. So negative C, so this is going to be negative C over A. And then this is just going to give us 1. Okay? All right, now we're going to multiply this, but let's simplify this first, this here, just to make it easier to work with. So if I have negative, so this is going to be negative CB plus AD over A. Right? Which is then going to give me what? This is going to be, let me switch this around. So this is the same as AD minus BC over A. So let's just replace that. So this is the same as, let's do it, AD minus BC over A. Okay, now we want to make this into a 1. So we're going to multiply that by what? A over AD minus BC times row 2 and replace row 2. Okay, so what does that give us? That's going to give us what? Well, now the first row is going to stay the same, so that's going to be 1 B over A, 1 over A, 0. And now this is going to be 0, 1. Now, this is going to be negative C over A times A over AD minus BC. And this is going to be A over AD minus BC. Okay? Now notice, let's simplify this here. The A's are going to cancel, right? So this is just going to become negative C over AD minus BC. So let's just replace it with that. Okay, let's just simplify things a little bit. So this is going to be negative C over AD minus BC. All right, cool. Almost there. So now, let's go back to the top. Okay. All right, so now we just need to get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to take what? Negative B over A, right? So we're going to take negative B over A times row 2 plus row 1 and replace row 1. Okay, now row 2 is going to stay the same. So this is going to be 0, 1, and this is going to be negative C over AD minus BC. This is A over AD minus BC. Okay, now what are we going to do? We're going to take negative, so this is going to stay the same, right? 1 is going to stay the same. Now we're going to take negative B over A plus B over A, which is 0. Now we're going to take negative B over A times this. And we're going to add it to this. So it's going to be, 1 over A plus BC over A times AD minus BC. I think I got that correct, right? So negative B over A right? Negative B over A times 1 plus B over A is 0. Negative B over A is going to give us a positive BC over A times this plus this, which gives us this. Now we're going to take negative B over A times this plus this, so that's going to be what? Negative BA over A times AD minus BC. All right, so now, okay, so now this, the A's are going to cancel here. So what we get here is just negative B over AD minus BC. So let's just simplify that. So that's going to be negative B over AD minus BC. Okay, now what about this one here? Okay. Negative B over A okay, so let's do this here. Let's simplify this. We're going to have to do some algebra here to simplify this, right? So it's going to be 1 plus BC, so this is 1 over A, and then this is AD minus BC, right? Okay, so now let's get a common denominator. So to get a common denominator, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by AD minus BC. So let's do that. So let's do, this is going to be AD minus BC, AD minus, let's just do this. So this will become A times AD minus BC, right? So now I'm going to put this as a common one fraction, right? I can put them together because this is just addition, right? So I can put this together as one fraction. So this is going to become AD minus BC plus BC all over A times AD minus BC. And then, oh, look at this. The BC's will cancel out, right? And then that gives me AD over A times AD minus BC. And then, oh, look at that. The A's cancel. And so now this just becomes what? D all over AD minus BC, right? So now if I move this over just so that it looks better, so this is A over AD minus BC. All right, so now I'm done because I got the identity over here. So this has to be my inverse. Well, let's take a look at this, right? So A inverse is equal to this, but look at this, I've got a common denominator of AD minus BC. So I can factor that out of the matrix. Remember, with scalar multiplication, I can go the opposite, right? So this is just a number, right? So I'm going to pull out 1 over AD minus BC, and then what's left behind? D, negative B, negative C, A, which is what we wanted. All right. Have a great day.